Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. Tonight's webinar topic is understanding your partner's love language. I'm your host, Stephanie Moutei. So just want to welcome you all. Thank you for attending tonight. Going to go over the agenda, but before we do, let's just begin by arriving fully into the space together. Wherever you are, place your feet on the ground. Close your eyes if you'd like, or even soften your gaze and take a slow, deep breath in and out. Take two more breaths at your own pace, letting your body soften with each exhale. One more. Now, let's set an intention for yourself in this session. Maybe it's to learn something new about yourself, to understand your partner more deeply, or simply to receive insight that supports your connection. So, tonight we are going to be diving into the idea of love languages. The truth is, we all have unique ways of showing and receiving love. And sometimes what feels loving to us doesn't automatically land the same way for our partner. Love languages matter because they help us bridge that gap. They give us a common language to express care, appreciation, and intimacy in ways that are actually felt. When you understand your partner's love language and your own, you create more clarity, more connection, and less misunderstanding. And the beautiful part is these are simple shifts that can make a huge difference in your relationship. So here's the agenda for tonight's webinar. We're going to be going over understanding the five love languages, do some self-reflection and discovery, love language in action, integrating love languages, and then we will wrap up with a closing and reflection. Hmm. People often misjudge what their partner wants. These biases are linked to how affection is expressed and how satisfied people feel. How many feel that, right? Sometimes we do misjudge what our partner wants and how our partner feels loved. And that's what is amazing and that I love and appreciate about the five love languages because it helps us to understand how our partner feels loved. So, just going to kind of go over each of these five love languages, providing a definition and some examples, and then we're going to get into figuring out what your love language is and what your partner's love language is. And the first is acts of service. Acts of service is showing love by doing helpful things for your partner. So, some examples could be cooking dinner so they can actually relax after a long day, or maybe taking the car for an oil change without being asked, making them coffee in the morning. The impact that the relationship has with that is often feels like, oh, you lighten my load, so I feel cared for. So that's acts of service. The next one is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation is expressing love through spoken or written appreciation, encouragement, and affection. So, some examples could be saying, I love how thoughtful you are. Maybe it's sending a supportive text before a big meeting, leaving little sticky notes with little love messages. The relationship impact is feel it makes the person feel like I'm seen, valued, and appreciated. The third is quality time. Quality time is giving undivided attention and presence. So examples of this is turning cell phones off during dinner to really connect, or in a serious like heart to heart, just quickly turn your phone on silent. Taking a walk together and listening deeply. Having a weekly us ritual like Sunday morning coffee. The relationship impact is it feels like I matter and our connection matters. The next one is physical touch. With physical touch, this is showing love through touch and physical closeness. Examples: holding hands while walking, hugging when you reunite after the day. It can also be gentle touches on the arm, kisses, cuddling on the couch. The relationship impact is feels like I feel secure, loved, and close when you're physically near. And the last one is receiving gifts. So, with receiving gifts, this is expressing love through thoughtful, tangible symbols. Some examples could be bringing home their favorite snack just because, picking out something small that reminded you of them, or a meaningful card or keepsake on a special day. The relationship impact is you thought of me, and that makes me feel cherished. So now that we've explored the five love languages, it's important to reflect on which one feels most natural to you, both in how you give and how you receive love. This is where a lot of relationships discover they've been missing each other without realizing it. So, a little reflection and discovery here. Um, so, with this, the first one is identify your own love languages. So, just take a couple moments here. Think about how you most like to receive love. Which gesture makes you feel most cared for, seen, and appreciated? Is it when someone helps you lighten the load? That's acts of service. Is it when you hear kind, encouraging, affirming words? So that would be words of affirmation. Or is it when you get that undivided attention? If so, that would be quality time. Or maybe it's through touch and closeness. That would be physical touch. Or maybe it's receiving thoughtful gifts that show they were thinking about you. If so, that would be receiving gifts. Now, you may have one or two that really strike a chord to you, right? You really feel love, connection when you give, receive these. So write down your top one or two love languages that feel the strongest for you. And if you're curious to dive deeper after this session, you can take the official love language quiz at 5lovelanguages.com /quizzes love hyphen language. And it will ask you some different questions. And at the end, it will tell you what your love languages are in order. And you may have one that is at the top, maybe one or two at the top, or you may have a little bit of, a sprinkle of each evenly. And I'm moving on to step 2, and this is a partner reflection. So if your partner is here with you, take a moment to guess each other's love languages. Before asking, just take a moment and think. You know your person, right? At least you think you do. What do you think your partner's love languages are? Could be one or two. Sometimes the way we see our partner's needs gives us insight into what we notice most. So we'll take a moment here and I'll give each of you time to figure out and share. So, partner A, you are going to share what you think your partner's top love languages are, one or two. And then partner B, you're going to confirm or clarify what feels true for you. And then we'll switch, right? So that you each get to share what you think your partner's love language is, and then you can confirm what it actually is. So I'll give it just a moment for you attending to be able to do this. Now, this isn't about being right or wrong. It's about opening the door to curiosity and better understanding. And keep in mind, our love languages, as we grow and evolve, our love languages can change too. So I definitely recommend revisiting maybe once a year to see what your love languages are. Have they changed? Mine, my two top are physical touch and quality time, but sometimes they flip flop. Sometimes it's quality time and then physical touch, and sometimes it's physical touch and then quality time. But those two are typically my top two. And now that you've had a chance to reflect on your own love language and maybe even your partner's, let's explore how to put this into practice and what it looks like to speak love in ways that really land. Now, let's bring this to life. It's one thing to know the love languages, but it's another to actually practice them. So, in this short exercise, we will help you embody what giving and receiving love can feel like in real time. So, if you have your partner with you, you're going to choose one love language together. Okay. And then you're going to practice giving it to one another right now. So, for example, an easy one being that we're virtual, right? Um, we could do words of affirmation for an example. So, if you're with your partner, or you can always try this later with your partner, with words of affirmation, you could share a genuine compliment or write a cute short note to your partner. But you could always do words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, or physical touch. So give a moment for you to just practice as you guys decide which of the 5 you want to practice with. And then you can do that. So you could do a genuine compliment or short note for words of affirmation. With quality time, you could put your phone down, sit face to face, and give undivided attention for 2 minutes. Acts of service, you could offer to do one small task for your partner today before you go to bed. Receiving gifts, find something small and symbolic nearby, even just a sticky note with a heart on it, and gift it to your partner. Physical touch, hold hands, hug, or place a hand gently on your partner's shoulder. I'll give everyone another minute. And as you're practicing this, notice how it feels to give and how it feels to receive. Sometimes we can learn more from the experience than the explanation. And for those that are solo and do not have a partner, write down how you love to receive each love language. And next, you're going to brainstorm one way you could give each of them, either to yourself or to a loved one. So you're going to brainstorm one way you could give each of them, each of the five love languages to yourself or to a loved one as a solo practice. So with words of affirmation, you can write yourself a kind note. Quality time, you could block 10 minutes to sit with yourself, no phone, no distractions. Acts of service, you could do one small task your future self will thank you for. Receiving gifts, place something meaningful on your desk, a flower, a candle, crystal, and physical touch. Give yourself a self hug, maybe stretch or use lotion slowly and intentionally. All right, let's take a deep breath and just notice what came up for you. Which language felt most natural and which was a bit more of a stretch? Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about exploration and connection. A little quote here for you. Love is not just what you say, it's how your partner hears it. Learning their love language is learning to speak directly to your partner's heart. Now we get to integrate these love languages. So, one way to do that is to use this awareness daily. All right. So, micro moments matter. Love languages do not have to be a big gesture. A lot of times people think, "Oh, I have to do this huge, grandiose gesture, right?" No, look for small, consistent opportunities each day. So, for example, if your partner's love language is acts of service, doing the dishes without being asked counts just as much as planning a big surprise. If your partner's love language is words of affirmation, maybe you could do something like my boyfriend has been doing. He leaves these little heart shaped cards. I love you because you are helpful. He leaves these every day somewhere for me to find on the fridge, and each one says something different on them. That could be something very simple to do. The next thing that you could do is love check ins. Take just 1 to 2 minutes daily to ask, what's one small thing I could do today to help you feel loved? Ooh, such a small little thing to just ask that question, but it can make such a difference. It could help your partner feel seen, heard, loved. You can mix and match. Even if your partner has a primary love language, sprinkle in the others so they feel a more well rounded connection. Even if, let's say, their top love language is acts of service, right? You could sprinkle a little bit of quality time or sprinkle a little bit of gifts, right? And then self love languages. Practice giving your top love language to yourself. Self affirmations, taking yourself on a solo date, buying yourself flowers. As I mentioned before, mine are physical touch and quality time. I religiously, at least once a year, if not more, take myself on a date, like an all day date with myself to my favorite things, eating at my favorite restaurant, um, a solo date, showing myself love. Now, the second part of this integration is tips for blending love languages naturally. Don't force it. You don't have to perfectly speak your partner's love language. Authenticity matters so much more than perfection. Example could be if receiving gifts isn't your thing, a handwritten card can be just as meaningful as an expensive present. Use your strengths as a bridge. Start with your own natural love language, then weave in your partner's. So, an example of that could be if you're great with words, like words of affirmation, and your partner loves quality time, combine them by writing them a note and reading it aloud during coffee together. So, you get a little bit of both. Stay curious. People's love languages can shift and change over time, depending on stress, life stages, or needs. So check in regularly rather than assuming that their love language is still the same. I would recommend at least once a year taking the love language test online, the quiz. Um, but if your partner and or yourself has experienced some stress, life change, um, might want to check in on that to see if your love languages have shifted any. And then you can layer the love languages. So sometimes combining love languages amplifies that connection, right? So an example could be a hug, which is physical touch, while saying, I'm so proud of you, words of affirmation. So you got two love languages in there. I Great example because both myself and my partner, our love languages are the same, quality time and physical touch. So we love to cuddle on the couch. So we're getting that physical touch time, right? But we're also spending quality time. We set our phones down, we will watch a movie, we may watch Formula One racing because we both love it. Or we are right now watching The Rookie. So that's our like quality time, right? So we get both quality time and physical touch. And another way is communicate without criticism. Frame it as an invitation, not a complaint. Instead of, you never spend time with me, try, I feel most loved when we have uninterrupted time together. Could we plan a night this week? Integrating love languages isn't about adding more work to your relationship. It's about creating tiny intentional moments that build connection over time. When you blend your partner's needs with your natural way of loving, you create a rhythm of care that feels effortless and authentic. Now, as we are bringing this to a close, there are some key takeaways. So, understanding love languages helps us to stop guessing and to start connecting in ways that truly land with our partners. And love isn't just about intention, it's also about the impact. Speaking your partner's love language bridges the gap between the two. So, quick little recap: identify your love language, learn your partner's love language, and then practice some small daily actions to integrate both. Love languages aren't a one time quiz result, they evolve. Keep checking in, keep experimenting, and keep growing together. The greatest gift you can give someone is the love they understand and feel. I do have some journal prompts I'll leave you with. So, with these journal prompts, you can do a little bit of a deeper exploration. So, the first one is, which love language do I most naturally give? And how does that shape my relationships? The second is, what's one specific way I can show my partner love in their language this week? Three, when I receive love in a way that isn't my main love language, how can I notice and appreciate the effort behind it? And four, what would it look like to practice my own love language as an act of self love? Love languages aren't about labeling, they're about learning the unique ways we can make each other feel deeply valued and connected. Take these reflections with you and notice how even the smallest shifts can bring more love into your everyday life. I'm so grateful that you shared this space with me tonight, and I hope that you learned something new today about love languages. Remember, small, consistent actions in your partner's love language can create deep and lasting connection. If you would like to explore how I can support you in your relationship journey, please feel free to schedule a free discovery call with me. You can do that at my website, intimate-journey.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at the intimate_journey. Join me next for the next free webinar, which is going to be on October 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be on building a solid friendship with your partner. Remember, intimacy starts with you. Embrace your desire, explore your connection, and keep creating love that feels authentic and free. Good night.